look at figures.
There is a caste system in America.
Remember the time we were talking about like the numerology in the Quran, right? My God, today this guy Ilumi, he was only talking about numerology.
He talked for 12 hours. He talked about so much shit. Him and Megatron.
You guys give him so much mic access. Like, I don't understand why everybody goes in a stance, like in a you guys are hypnotized by him or something?
Yeah.
What hypnosis on you, Mod, that you allow his nonsense to prevail?
It's because Narjas doesn't have anything better to do. Narjas, do you sit in an office when you use this app?
Blame it on me.
Are you like under your bed covers?
One second.
Are you on the couch?
Please can you PTR, Dr. Z? So I was thinking mostly about this Daniel's creation. So I was mostly thinking about how you parse of numerology and how maybe he's like using that your numerology, because he was saying like 7, 9 things, these kind of numbers he's using. So I'm not so sure like if it's, you better copyright your stuff, bro. Dr. Z, get the book out, man.
Bro, he was such a Salafi. He was such an Athari. You know, he was the one that said, "Oh, God descended from the highest heaven to the first heaven," and I introduced him to the concept of, there is dimensional existence within the cosmos. There's time. There's arch time. There's the dilation. I don't know if he heard it prior to me, but then
remember how he was using arch time and teasing you about it?
Yeah, but then guess what? The other day he said the biggest factor in the biggest science in the Quran is the science of time. Shut the hell up, bro. I was the one who introduced you to arch time, and now you're going full force into I don't know what. But I barely get to hear that aspect of his nonsense. It's only Trinity and the ramblings that he... What did he say today that I missed? Tell me.
You missed today the number 7, the 6 layers, right? 6 days to create. He's using time concepts like you, right? 6 days to create.
Oh my God, you can't be serious now. I introduced that to him. Remember I told him, you think this 6 days as like days? These are days measured through the arsh. Like these are the arsh days.
Exactly.
He did not start building on that. I swear.
I thought he was building. Ask anyone.
Okay, then what did he say?
Then he was saying 6 days, and then he added 3 like the water, the throne, and above it. So altogether like 9, right? But he was saying that's the esoteric number 9, which is the age of wisdom, right? And then he was matching that up with Aisha's age.
Shut up, really? Okay, I think he's all over the place. Sorry, he's just all over the place. If that's what he's doing, I have nothing to worry about. Let him keep doing what he's doing.
No, then how many times I introduced Joshua Little with his 361 freaking page thesis on the age of Aisha, and I begged him. I said, read. Now he's saying, yeah, he has done some studies, I believe, based on the sister's age and stuff. Her age seems to be 19 or something, 18 or 19 or something.
What is the Quranic reference for the age of Aisha, please? What is his Quranic reference?
No, he's saying 9 is the age of wisdom, and because she was the wisest human, I believe. So that 9, Bukhari is using it esoterically. What rubbish! Bukhari is using the age 6 to 9 esoterically.
Wow, that's anti-Semitic. Wow. Good hearing from you. Pops. All right, well, I guess the alien topic has.
I do want to give a shout out to the Alien Inn in Rachel, Nevada, for those that are interested and want to be up close to the UFOs. It books up. You have to book it way in advance, but that's where everyone goes. That's your best chance to see.
Glad you brought that up. Look, I lived in New Orleans a long time. They largely popularized the commercialization of voodoo. I'm sure I have to admit that I'm sure it's very much the same way. It's largely commercialized. Have you heard anything about the recent releases? What are people in Nevada saying? Will this disrupt their tourist traps?
No, I think it's going to probably increase the volume to Rachel, Nevada. I think it's perked the interest of the country. And I'm telling you, people come from all over to go to this place to, assume they're going to run into an alien.
I have a genuine question about the aliens. What does everybody think would actually happen if aliens are real and they walk out on the White House with Trump holding hands and say that they're here and shit? Do you guys think that a bunch of people are going to go commit mass suicide or start worshiping the aliens or trying to fuck the aliens? Like, I'm not even trolling. Like, I just think it's going to get fucking crazy.
Nah, I'll be quick. I still would not believe it, even if that happened. I still do not believe. I never will believe in aliens.
But I'm saying, hypothetically, if it were, Joe, like,
the thing is, the aliens are not going to reveal themselves.
I'll be quiet right after this.
Listen.
Okay, hold on. I promise I'll be quiet. So, my thing I was going to say is, white women will go and try to fuck black guys to get, like, genetically stronger, kids. But if aliens show up, do you think that women will go and try to get impregnated? I know that, well, it's anti-alien. But they'll go and try to get impregnated by male aliens so they can have superior genes.
The aliens are not going to reveal themselves at this point because of just your point, okay?
Why not?
They know that because they know people are not reliable.
Mud sharks?
They know people are not reliable and they're going to engage in all kinds of freaky stuff. So at this moment, they're just trying to hold back and try to control us.
People jumping off buildings and shit. It's going to be wild.
Sounds like George Orwell's fucking War of the Worlds, doesn't it?
Yeah, War of the Worlds was fucking stupid. That was a dumb fucking book and a dumb movie.
Oh, well, it was so dumb that they aired that broadcast.
I mean, Stephen Hawking said something similar. He said that the aliens are going to show up, and if they do, they're going to be like conquistadors, and they're going to enslave everybody. They're taking it from like a humanistic standpoint and from our previous history.
Stephen Hawking was retarded in wheelchair, David.
Any aliens that show up, that's anti-drunkard. But any aliens that show up,
G. Wells, he was a good writer.
Any aliens that show up are not going to need anything that we have on Earth. The only thing that's on Earth, the only thing that is on Earth that is actually fucking rare would be life. That's it. Life is the only thing that's rare in the universe that we know of so far. So the only reason aliens are going to show up is because we're here. They don't give a shit about coming to fucking turn us all into fucking meat or fucking stealing our water or all this kind of fucking conspiratorial fucking stupid sci-fi bullshit. The reality is, if life is rare, that's the only reason they're going to show up. They're not here to steal our gold.
Yeah, but you don't know that.
The moon Titan has two. Oh, sorry.
That's a really good point. No, Rich, I want to. That's a really good point.
Yeah, I was just going to say the moon Titan has 2,000 years worth of methane on it.
That's literally what Elon Musk says. Elon Musk has the most satellites up in orbit throughout the entire world. What is it? Nearly like 900.
Yeah, I know it's a quote, Joe.
And he says life is rare, and he claims there is no alien for presence, at least in space.
Well, Joe, the only contention I have with what Elon said is that if aliens have the ability to traverse interstellar space or create a Rosen bridge, there's no way that we could ever fucking detect them unless they want to be detected. Like the ideal that aliens are coming down with like blue and green lights and sticking probes in people's assholes and shit like on a farm is fucking preposterous and ridiculous. But the ideal is if you can traverse 30 light years and you can come here, there's no way they're tier 1 or tier 2 civilization. You're not going to be able to detect them unless they turn the fucking cloaking off and they're like, hey, here we are.
Oh, go ahead, Matt.
Oh, I was just going to say, what advantage do they have of showing themselves? That's my question then.
Well, I mean, there's like a multitude of different reasons. I mean, it could be for the mere fact that they want to help advance our civilization or our humanity and help us progress and be part of, if there is like an alien federation or something.
we don't need their help. Carry on.
Or also, like, if something's going to wipe out humanity, maybe it's nukes or something like that. Maybe they disable all the fucking nukes so we're about to fire them.
I think like in a sci-fi.
I mean, we do go in and find Bengal tigers that are sick. Like,
why would they make a
we knocked
federation?
the Bengal tiger out.
Hold on, he doesn't get it. He has like a Star Wars.
Jesus Christ, people. Fucking David Strong, Ray Dumb.
Yeah. David and Ray, hold on. Look, I want to highlight what Rich just said, another great point about the speed of light. Really, it's about the technology of the speed of light. And if we were to have that here on Earth, imagine being able to deliver weaponry at the speed of light. You would be able to bomb your opposition or your enemies, and they would never be able to see it coming because you could.
One of the things, one of the last things I'm going to mention, Ray, chill out, bro. Jesus, are you drunk or something, Ray? All I was going to say is if aliens were actually to show up, this is all I was going to say, on the Kardashev scale, if they're a tier 1 civilization, there is absolutely nothing that we could do to defend ourselves if they're hostile. If they show up and they want to fucking enslave us all or wipe us out, we're fucked. I mean, any Kardashev scale tier 1 fucking civilization would be like gods amongst us. I mean, they would have so much. Like, you remember in the movie The Watchmen, Watchmen, where the guy goes out and it's Mr. Manhattan and he just like fucking blinks and all the fucking soldiers are like eviscerated into nothing. Like, that would be the scale times 10. Like, imagine what they would have the capability. They could literally fucking Death Star the entire Earth.
Why is every single one getting respect to the base?
I don't think that they're going to be.
So, Joe, you can't do light.
I think any civilization that's reached the Kardashev scale in tier 1 civilization.
And if you want light speed, you might disintegrate your fucking particles, man, going that fast. You know, like. Shut the you sound.
You know, okay, Ray. If you could tell me,
you understand the speed. What is
you can tell me the constant speed of light. Ray, if you could tell me the constant speed of light, I will fucking leave the room right now.
Like,
tell me what speed of light is. Hurry up.
You understand? Like, if you,
I'll give you 10 seconds to tell me what, so you can check
under this gravitational pull.
186 miles per hour.
No, it's 300,000 kilometers per hour, so 186.999.
You're gonna splatter, like, bro. Like, this is common.
Yeah, I know, but you forgot the 0.999.
If you were flying, and
I didn't say if Beaver answers it. I said if Ray.
And you're in the meat suit that you're going to splatter.
Yeah, but Ray's correct though. Nothing can move at the speed of light.
No. Theoretically, it can't. That's just our theory that it can.
What do you mean nothing can move at the speed of light? Light moves at the speed of light.
Beaver, we could theoretically, and every physicist on Earth would agree that we could theoretically reach 99.99
in Earth's gravitational
field.
No, you don't.
And then on top of that, you have a Rosen bridge, which is literally fucking wormholes.
In space, you can do that because there's no gravity in space.
We have no grasp on fucking quantum mechanics and string theory.
Holy shit! Let me talk with Beaver. Look, you're right that you can't through propulsion. However, if you can bend space-time, you can be able to move objects that would theoretically be at the speed of light.
Or ludicrous speed. Have you seen Spaceballs where they push that button that has ludicrous speed?
Well, that's also Beaver, what Einstein was talking about. He said that, he compared it to like a train, and he was talking about time is relative. And he was saying that if you were to say something's 1,000 light years away, like in that stupid movie Hail Mary, where say if you were to traverse 1,000 light years and you could theoretically reach 99.999% the speed of light. If you could reach that speed, when you take off and you reach that speed, it would be like an instant for you to traverse from one location to the other. But for everybody else, because time is relative, that everybody else on Earth would have fucking passed 1,000 years. So even going 1,000 light years and then coming back 1,000 light years would be 2,000 years into the future. But for you, it would be, if you could instantly reach that speed, it would be like a second. You'd be like, bam, we're fucking there. And then bam, we're fucking back. 2 seconds going there and back.
You wouldn't need speed if you're talking about how you're, the world.
Yeah, we're not talking about the Rosen Bridge right now.
Or if you the warp zone in Mario, you can go to the warp zones and skip all the levels and go straight to level 8. There's that.
Yeah.
Do you think Jeffrey Epstein and Stephen Hawking had these similar conversations, like in depth on the island? I'm willing to bet that Jeffrey Epstein and Stephen Hawking had these same conversations on the island using that computer synthesizer.
Can you ding the gong or dong the gong, or however you say?
Hello.
Do it, John. Come on, ding it.
All right, take the deepest breath of the day.
Rich, why do you get so upset?
He's got a mini gong. I love it.
You always mention Jews when nobody mentions Jews. That's strange.
No, bro, I mentioned it, and then like 5 minutes later, you brought up Jews again.
I'm just saying. I never mentioned
Israel, Palestine.
Riyabia, did you see?
First and foremost, Jews don't.
Bro, we're on aliens right now.
Did you see Netanyahu? Did you see the Netanyahu interview with CBS?
Can you show me on the doll where the Jews?
Jewish aliens from the Vatican, from an
I literally said this.
Alpha Centauri, actually run the world.
Ray, can I ask
We
you a
all know
question?
that, right? Right? We all know that, right?
I have a genuine question.
Zionist
Ray.
aliens from Alpha Centauri run the world. Isn't that correct?
Yes. Okay. So
They're Ashkenazi.
If the aliens were to show up and say the Nephilim are actually currently right now, or the angels are currently and the Ashkenazi Jews, would you accept that? And I know your fucking stupid question back to me because you're not going to answer. You're going to ask a question or answer a question with a question. Yes. If the African Americans are the real Israelites, then I'll accept that.
Damn.
Are you willing to?
I mean, science proves that.
If the aliens say Ashkenazis, the reason they have the highest median IQ at 115 and 117 is
I'm
because
just saying.
No, the aliens say it's both.
accept that.
I don't blame the Jews for every
and the
fucking
Ashkenazi
Jews
Jews
are
are
and the Middle Easterners and the Sephardi. It's the Sephardi,
No,
Ashkenazi,
not the Sephardi.
and the
It's
Black
like
Americans.
you really blame the Jews for
We don't
everything
accept the
that's going on in
Sephardi
the world.
or the Mizrahi.
But that's a whole nother story for another day. But your bullshit.
But would you accept if the aliens come down and say the Ashkenazi are the real
the
Jews?
aliens or the angels?
If they do,
there's
they're not demons.
There's righteous angels, but they all
They're not
work in
Satan.
unison. If you read,
They're not Satan. We could prove that. They come up, they show
all
up
work
here,
in unison.
they say
decide-
Jesus is the Messiah. He's the King of Kings. He says that we have nothing to do with God. We're not going to interfere. But they do say, hey, the Ashkenazi are actually the Jews. Would you accept that?
Yeah, the Ashkenaz is not even. You're dumb as fuck.
Well, they settled in the land of Ashkenaz. The same reason that you're called an African American because your ancestors come from
Hello?
In like the
But you reside in America. That's why you're called an African American.
Hello.
No, these are
Both. Y'all can't accept that it's both.
Yeah, I'm not.
That's why Pepe is a French
It's
American.
actually the African Americans, the Sephardi,
My
and the
daddy's Native American, my mother's.
Your dad's white.
So how the fuck does that
Your
work?
dad's in
Now
that
my
prison
African
suit
American
standing in front of the world map wearing his brown jumpsuit. You already showed the photo.
All
You
right.
should have never showed that photo, bro. I have a really good memory. Okay.
You're gone.
on that.
All right,
I got to move you down because I don't know what you're doing now. Price, sorry, I was eating. Price, did you want to say something? You've been trying to get in.
No, I was just saying that I got a download from the universe. The whole thing is the Hebrew Israelites are actually the Sephardi, the Ashkenazi, also the so-called Black Americans or Negroes, and also the Arab, actually Palestinian Muslims and Christians of the other groups within so-called Palestine. But that's just a download. That's what the universe is telling me. You all can disagree and argue all you want about it, but that's actually the truth in 2026.
Well, I
gotta say one thing. You see, I always say it's okay if you talk to yourself, but once you start hearing voices respond to yourself, that's when it becomes a problem. Start thinking of.
Exactly. I was speaking with the universe, and the universe was telling me that really there's no way that the Ashkenazi Jews were in Egypt building the pyramids. It was actually African Americans building the pyramids, 16,000 years ago.
Ashkenazis. That's what you don't get, bro. It was both.
Oh. Well,
they brought them straight from Germany and Europe to Egypt.
well, Rabbono Shel Olam, we do have the records of Muhammad going back to 660 when he was torturing the Jews in Saudi Arabia, and they all said, fuck it, let's go to Europe where they have plumbing. Fuck these Arab terrorist cocksuckers.
Yo, I gotta say, Clubhouse finds the most interesting fucking people. And they wonder why they're still on fucking welfare.
Well, Rabbono Shel Olam, we made it through another Shabbos. Tomorrow, post Mother's Day, you know, Trump put out a message to his mother, his beloved Babushka, or whatever her name was. What a beautiful woman. Let's all just say a little prayer for Mrs. Trump, who gave us our great orange president, who's saving America and saving the world. Amen.
Joe, can you bring up Rayaba? I ran out of invites. Yeah, let's say a prayer.
Would aliens, if they came down, anybody in here, would it shake your faith? Religion?
For me, no. No. I actually have no. What? Oh, yeah, I'll let everybody answer. So, all no's so far. Anybody have a yes or no?
Are you? It wouldn't make you doubt anything.
Wait, answer your own question. Did you say no? I forget.
Well, I don't. I mean, I believe there's a higher power, but I don't claim to have it figured out. And I mean, it wouldn't. I would still think there's a higher power, but I wouldn't. The people that have it like in their mind, like they define it out, like they're this religion or that religion. Wouldn't make them rethink a couple things? Like, if you're Muslim, do you still believe in Muhammad?
But if you believe that God created the universe and that's part of the universe, then why would anything change in what you believe?
Well, I mean, if you believe that the Earth is 6,000 years old and Adam and Eve and all that stuff, and then aliens come down and they basically, like Rich was saying, they could go back in time and show you XYZ, and they can show you all the stuff that's happened. And this theatrical display, and they say this is the real truth, and they do all these amazing things you've never seen before, and they make people disappear, and I don't know, like, would that not make you say, what the hell?
Not necessarily, because where does the scripture or the Torah for me or scripture for you say that something's nothing's like carbon dated, you know, specifically. I mean, we have theories, and so much of what's written is written for interpretation. I mean, the word universe in itself, the way it's written, can be defined in different theological ways. You know, every single word is up for interpretation. I mean, that's how we study it. So how one may view it today, it doesn't necessarily mean it didn't foresee that. I don't know. There's probably a ton of stuff about the concept of other peoples and other planets, and how it weaves into the words in the Bible. But again, you don't necessarily, every word can have different meanings.
Real quick.
Does that answer it?
Abby, real quick, is there any mention of UFOs or aliens in the Torah? Because there's none in the Bible, according to Edward. But go ahead.
I don't think so, but I kind of have this memory of like stories about it. You know, again, like that I need to look now, and I'm going to do some Googling. Like, I'm sure it's come up as a question.
Isn't Eskizel, or isn't that one of the ones supposedly? I have no idea.
Look,
I'm just saying.
from what
but I thought Escanizel was one of the alien references.
Hold on. From what my understanding is in Genesis, it talks about the fallen angels and that they breed with
human females, and I would be extremely nervous or very skeptical about any being coming here and trying to reveal that they know everything about our history and stuff like that. I'd just be super skeptical about it, as if they were a fallen angel.
Okay, about Ezekiel.
Yes.
Hello?
Yeah, that's the one that's U.S. going.
Don't you guys know what metaphor is? This is all for interpersonal psychological development. It's none of this is literal. This is all just metaphor. And there's no aliens. The military-industrial complex loves to put out fake videos to show shiny silver balls float through the fucking sky so they can keep getting 1.2 trillion to 1.5 trillion. It's all a scam. It's all bullshit. There's no fucking UFOs. There's no fucking aliens. There's colonels and generals and majors and lieutenant colonels that love to laugh when they put out fake videos because they got nothing else to do on that battleship. Hello?
All you Trumpkins. How come Trump doesn't get to the bottom?
Hold on, Price.
If what you say is true, shouldn't
Price,
he, as president of
Price, hold on, Price. We're having dialogue. Look, that's a great point. Wouldn't it be more likely that the government or departments in the government would use aliens as a reason to get more funding? Tim Burchett has talked about this because Tim Burchett, he's a Republican from East Tennessee. He's been one of the big ones on pushing for them to reveal about the aliens or what they have on information about this. However, what he has said is departments have come to him and said, look, we know some, but we don't know enough. What we need more, Congressman, is funding for us to find out more about the aliens. So some of that, what you said, is spot on, Edward. I'll bring you back up, Price, but we're taking turns making points.
I just looked it up, by the way, because I'm curious. And it's specifically, there's many that have written about this, including, I don't know if you know who the Rebbe is, but that's the founder of Lubavitch. And he actually wrote about it. Yeah, the finding of life on other planets is consistent with the Torah as it reflects God's infinite power. And there's actually, in Talmudic study, they discuss, there's an interpretation about inhabitants on another planet. Like there was rabbinical conversation about it, but it would have no effect, according to what I'm reading, on Judaism. And then there's, what Kabbalah is, and the Kabbalistic sources embrace it as well. But none of it says that it would conflict.
See, if I was a Kabbalist,
Same with Christianity.
I would put Rayabia back in his shell.
The only thing the Christians would say is it's a highlight admitting that they're Kabbalists.
Uh-oh, somebody reads books. Book reader alert. Book reader alert. Just because you read a book doesn't mean the fantasy in the book's fucking real, you idiot.
Yeah, I mean, he can read it, but he can't comprehend it.
Who? No.
You, Rabbi.
If you're into Kabbalah, then you're a Kabbalist.
No, we were saying that when you read a book,
I didn't say I was
you can't
into it. I
comprehend
was just quoting that there's different interpretations that have happened over centuries.
Well, also, Abby, isn't Mendel Schneerson supposed to come back to life, and he's supposed to be the Messiah?
He asked, is there any reference of it in the Torah? And you referenced two sources.
Well, he should have.
Ribbono Shalom, Menachem Schneerson has started a computer program.
Kabbalah and the Talmud they're not Torah or Torah.
I didn't say they were. Jesus.
Yeah, she never said that.
Say they were.
Come on, Rayamia.
No,
I wasn't even talking to you. I was answering Beaver's question.
She said it wouldn't be contradictory, and she didn't know of anything in the Torah, which is the first 5 books. And then she said, but she said Mendel Schneerson, and she talked about the Talmud and Mendel Schneerson.
Got it. We got the recap.
They don't use the term UFO because that's a modern term, but that's not.
Oh, Ribbono Shalom.
But you're not intelligent enough.
Moderators, I just want to say one more thing about the military-industrial complex faking alien encounters. And you know how I know it's real? Because the medical-industrial complex does the same thing through Medicare, Medicaid. You have doctors that create fake reports, the VAERS reporting, the entire COVID-19 vaccine response, all a lie, all bullshit. And so the point is, it's the same scam. have any of you ever witnessed, seen, touched, heard, felt, tasted a fucking alien? No, maybe from Nicaragua or El Salvador or Venezuela or Cuba, but never from fucking Mars. Hello?
Big booty Dominicans.
How do you explain the orbs videos that's been released by the government? You're just going to say that's CG, like the moon landing alleged?
No, you know what you do?
Well, they do have a balloon.
Yeah, you take a balloon, you film a balloon, then you speed up the film, and then you submit it to Congress, and then you got Rashida Tlaib going, "This is fucking a revelation. The fucking, oh my God, look at this. We got to increase spending for Raytheon and Boeing and Northrop Grumman. Another $100 billion. $100 billion at least to find out where that silver orb came from."
Just like the moon landing. Do you believe in the moon landing or not, John? I'm just curious.
Yes.
No, personally, I think they faked the videos to win the propaganda war, because I was in Los Angeles, in Beverly Hills or Century City, in this big lobby. They had photos of Nixon meeting with the astronauts, and I was like, that is such a scam. They're just in a fucking wood box with silver painting on it. It's all for television. It's all a fucking scam.
I think you have the moon landing. You think
he's trolling you, Bryce. He's trolling you, Bryce.
He's just trolling you. But I think
he's trolling you. He does believe it.
I saw it on TV when it happened. I saw it on TV. I'm probably the only one in the room.
Ray's
No,
gonna
I
say
saw it
you've
on
seen what they
television,
gave. They
Well,
left.
I saw it on
it.
television too. It was
You
black
did?
and white. CG
black
was
and
not
white.
anywhere developed where it was live. I
That
thought
was
Yeah, how the fuck could you watch a moon landing live, Wi-Fi broadcast through your television? I mean, did you ever question the video you were watching?
Hey, let's let Abby tell us her experience. Give a breath to people.
I was a little kid, and we were in summer camp, and we all watched it on a big, not big for that, it's probably, if I think about how big the TV
Jewish summer camp?
And we watched it in black and white. So if you're going to tell me that someone created that, out
Kubrick.
to fool the public, I don't think so. I mean,
They have the actual mounds, the mounds that they were filming. They have those, like, they have found them.
No, it's a big, those TVs that had the cabinet.
TVs. Yeah.
Yeah, the cabinet around it.
Yeah. I remember they rolled in the TV.
Who believes?
I do not believe they took a golf cart to the moon. Just try to visualize yourself in a rocket ship flying to the moon.
The other thing that's amazing is, we grew up with going to space a lot and Apollo landings. And, as kids, we would watch all of the different, Apollos. And I'm trying to think, it was the Geminis, Apollos. We watched them, and then it stopped. But you're going to tell me all of those were fake? They faked every one of them?
Yeah, I remember when they rolled the TV and they put it in the front of the classroom, and we all watched the verdict, which Beaver will like this. Beaver loves this topic. They rolled in the TVs, and we all watched the verdict of fucking O.J. Simpson. Yeah, and the O.J. Simpson, and it was hysterical. It was hysterical watching all the black kids get up and start cheering. Like we just won a Super Bowl.
Everything fake. Everything fake to you? Just
to Ray,
yeah. I mean, but he's
I want to hear from
guy
Ray.
whose whole life was scripted. I mean, Orange is 33 in gematria. I mean, the motherfucker was a high level Mason. The motherfucker, like the shit was nothing but propaganda to fill a certain level of racial tension.
What are you talking?
He beat his. How many times he beat his wife, and they had calls about domestic violence prior to this?
I'm glad I could get this.
You think that was made up also?
It was made up.
Racist.
I knew this.
Wait, what's about number 33, right?
Yeah, what's 33? Yeah.
Wait, Beaver.
Hear from the guy.
I did want to talk about that whole moon landing thing about the Apollo, because somebody was it Abby that said, "Oh, well, you think why would they fake all the moon landings? Well, why wouldn't they? I mean, what was it? And then you got to think, why do they keep naming these things Apollo? Why are they sitting up here naming these things after a fucking Greek god? Apollo 11, Apollo 10 and shit. You know, like this shit. And what was the last one that they did on April 1st on April Fool's Day? Artemis.
Wait,
on April Fool's Day, they shoot out into space and shit. Like they do this shit for pretty much just for symbolism, but that's another story for another day. The fact that you believe that they got through the Van Allen belt.
He wants to hear about Gematria in 33. Right?
The Van Allen belt, like Van Allen belt, it's been proven. It's been proven to be false.
But what about O.J. Simpson though? What is?
Yeah, because they call him the juice, right? Orange and whatnot.
But what? So you're saying
what did 33 have to do with it?
Yeah,
the 33 is the 33 degrees of masonry, and he was a high level mason. So I mean, all I'm saying is that a lot of these little athletes, like in the NFL and NBA, are high level masons. They probably sacrificed their mother or family member or cousin or whatever. He's one of them that did that shit. Whether that broad that supposedly got killed and the cop or the karate cop, whatever, got stabbed up or not, whether that's true or not, which I doubt it is. You know, they script certain events in their life to make certain rituals happen. And sometimes they use it for race rituals.
Brain rot, bro.
Ray, you can't possibly believe this.
I know. Ray,
I believe it.
No, you don't.
I have Gematria. I understand Gematria, so I can go
back. Gematria. Go.
We're gonna have to do a separate.
The NFL is gonna be involved in something like that. I find that to be really
Ashton's here. Edify us, Ashton.
OJ was number 32, by the way.
No, I'm not talking about this. I'm not talking about his jersey number. I was talking about orange.
Okay, that's what I was confused about.
Just a couple of things. Apollo was chosen by Abe Silverstein or whatever because it reminded him of like Zeus driving the chariot and the rocket. Gemini was chosen because it went from one rocket, like in Mercury program, to one astronaut to two astronauts to be able to make way for the Apollo mission. So Mercury was chosen, Gemini was chosen. So we tend to go and do things in the military and in government programs. We name them after certain sectors. Our ships are named. Our carriers are named after presidents. So our battleships are named after states. We use different things and different names to create designations for programs. It's easy on paperwork. Ray, there is no fucking massive conspiracy theory that these guys are going to go to the 33andMe Mason rant on the Apollo missions. It just doesn't exist. You guys draw fucking conspiracy theories just because somebody farted on Main Street and somehow you can smell it.
But Brad, here's the funny thing though that you brought that up because I didn't even bring up Mason.
Wait, Ray, what about OJ's number being 32?
Wait, no, I want to hit him on this one point.
OJ couldn't even talk. He starred in movies like Naked Gun, and he couldn't even fucking hold his lines. Like, seriously.
Oh no, Brad. No, that's funny that you mentioned all that shit because here's the funny thing.
Yeah,
right? Okay. Every astronaut that's ever been,
we're not doing this today.
O.J. Simpson is innocent. He is resting with the Lord.
Is a person that has been a part of the lodge. They're all Masons, Brad, which is ironic.
First, let's take your hypothetical. Let's take your hypothetical. A black NFL player that couldn't add 22 plus 22 somehow or another fucking went through a shit ton of money, married a fucking gold digging white woman, and somehow was this emphatic Mason, and then decided to do shitty fucking movies like The Naked Gun, giving him actually no extra fucking money because he just fucking gambled it away. And you somehow think that, oh yeah, there's a great conspiracy behind it. Listen, stop whatever the fuck it is you're drinking, tip that glass over, and fucking just wake up to reality. That didn't happen.
Brad, sell him some waterfront property and use
ice water, man. I ain't drinking nothing. No, listen, Brad.
And I know who OJ was because he was one of the running back greats. I grew up in Buffalo. I treasured the man. I knew who the man was. I met him multiple times. He came out to events, all that shit. That man couldn't talk. Like, literally could not fucking talk.
He was my neighbor, Brad. He was my neighbor.
But
here
not
for
because
like a
Stephen
long
Hawkins,
time.
but people. I know, but wait, hold up,
He
Branson.
lived here after he did some government service in Nevada for quite a number of years. He then moved 5 minutes from where I live.
Government service? The man was locked up for stealing his own shit.
Yeah, I'm calling it government service.
You know what's funny? What's her name? Brown, and he played against the Brown. There was a whole bunch of rituals going on with the Cleveland Browns and the players.
What rituals, Ray? What rituals?
Rituals, really?
What rituals?
Brad, you gotta
He had my girlfriend who was blonde. He had a
Brad,
blonde.
here's the deal. Here's the deal, right? You sat up here and you said that OJ couldn't talk and all this other shit. Neither could Stephen Hawkins, but people thought that he was intelligent.
Yeah, but one was a fucking hyper intelligent person, and the other was brain dead.
The other was a running back.
The fuck?
He was a running back. He was an athlete.
He was a real fucking retard in a wheelchair that people.
He was a physicist. He was a physicist, you know.
And no, he would sit up here in that little chair.
Whoa! That was anti-physicist.
And then here it is. People sit up here and
you're making a comparison of O.J. Simpson to Hawking. One of the most brilliant minds that you've had the luxury and the privilege to actually be alive and read his work. You're saying somehow.
Brad, I'm
going to go with this. If Hawking or you, if I had to listen to Hawking or you, go with Hawking any day of the week. I don't even need to be blindfolded. That motherfucker could do it in fucking Morse code, and I would still listen to Hawking. Between your conspiracy and Hawking talking.
But Brad, you don't think that it takes an exceptionally brilliant person like O.J. Simpson to create an opportunity to get off on murder? I mean, Stevie Wonder could have seen that.
OJ didn't get off on murder. Johnny Cochran got off on murder.
Well, at the end of the day, he's still innocent, and he's now resting with the Lord. But aside from that, I mean, you don't think that it takes an expressive? Well, I mean, I don't know the Lord to be roaming around hell, but
the God of this earth.
It takes an especially savvy person to create an opportunity to duck charges like that. So I hear where you're coming from.
The dream team.
I hear where you're coming from. O.J. Simpson is not exceptionally brilliant. We can all agree on that. Can we maybe move on? Can we move on?
You still claim he's innocent?
I mean, he was found innocent in the court of law. So, I mean, it's not a claim. It's not a claim. It's not a claim.
One thing I would offer. Bring up O.J. Simpson.
Look at Beaver loving this. Beaver's like ripped up right
I
now.
would believe Ray's theory over Adam's theory.
Well, I know why I'm getting smoked because I'm supporting Karen Bass. But I want to know, instead of y'all discussing me supporting Karen Bass, why aren't you guys discussing Spencer Pratt's father-in-law child molestation charges? I mean, it's funny to me that you guys haven't bothered to actually have that discussion. And why does Spencer and Heidi actually come out to defend her father, who pled guilty to child molestation charges?
We don't like soap operas.
So just to add something, going back to
wait, hold on. Doctor, we'll come right to you. But I have not heard Dr. Adams on how you went from scorched earth on Karen Bass during the fire just a year ago to now supporting her. I got to hear the transformation.
Sure, it's a very simple answer. So she's reduced homelessness by 17%, reduced gang violent related crimes by 28%, and she didn't go on public record.
So it's still only 400%.
She didn't go on public record how many years ago to defend her father-in-law that is a self-confessed child molester. So, to me, it was a very easy choice to make.
All righty. You got your answer, Jim?
I don't know. I don't know who she's running against. So, but no, thank you for the take. Okay, Dr. Jordan.
It's Spencer Pratt and the other lady. I forget her name. But
Nita, she's a city council member, and she actually voted 57 times in saying that, homeless people can be in proximity to schools around people's children. So, it is what it is. If we want to look at track records, I'm going to go with the person
Please,
that
why
has
can't
the
they?
safest track record. I'm going to look at the person that has the safest track record. Okay, I'm not going to listen to a bunch of people in Texas and Louisiana telling me who I should vote for.
Wait, are you saying that homeless people are all pedophiles or something?
Well, I mean, if you look at the sex offender registry and how many sex offenders are
but you're
labeled
lumping
as
them all together.
transients, they're labeled as transients. I think that there should be a system put into place to make sure that they're not setting up
Can we
encampments.
now say that all?
I think that there should be a system set up into place so that they're not putting up encampments next to
Can
schools.
we say that all gay people have AIDS then? Since some gay people have AIDS?
Jordan, go ahead, Dr. Jordan. You wanted to take a shot.
Oh yeah.
All I was gonna say is, I think we are underestimating OJ. I mean, he's a murderer, but he was one of the most charismatic people you'd ever meet. So, I mean, he was adored by people, and I think he was far more articulate than people have claimed in this room. But I don't want to challenge individual experiences. I just think. We have misrepresented OJ. Not that he's a good guy, but as far as his intellect and his charisma and his personality overall, I think we didn't do him justice.
Wait to white knight, Dr. Jordan.
Let me follow up. Dr. Jordan, are you just saying that OJ is misunderstood?
No, I'm not, and I'm not saying he's a good person. He's a very bad person. I'm just saying that, like, the way that he seemed to have been described in this room was that he, was kind of, not particularly.
He's dumb.
He had brain damage.
He's dumb as a box of rocks, but that doesn't make him a bad person, Dr. Jordan. That don't make him a bad person.
Well, I don't have anything to win or gain by saying this. It's just my opinion. Now, what I do know, though, is that, and this doesn't change anything about his intellect, but a friend of mine who was a cop who used to hang out with him said, people like LAPD, of all the celebrities, people for whatever reason really attached to him. So when the homicide happened, it was really kind of shocking to the law enforcement community. Maybe it wasn't shocking.
I heard the absolute opposite, Dr. J, and I just heard it last week. Completely the opposite from someone who was LAPD that worked in that area. He said they weren't shocked because they had all these domestic violence calls.
Service calls.
So
Exactly.
Sure did.
completely the opposite of what you're saying.
Service calls.
Abby's right that there was all the domestic violence, but my thing about, I guess, where I'm coming from is that the LAPD people I knew, he had a charisma about him, but yes, 100%, I misrepresented.
Well, maybe it was
So, Dr. Jordan, do you know?
the good old boy system. Maybe it was like maybe only some people knew it, others didn't.
So actually, I went to the OJ trial. Not that I spoke with him, but I went there as kind of a guest of Robert Shapiro. Anybody could show up, but I have a family friend who is close to Robert Shapiro. And a kind of an interesting thing is I was working on it. You can look this up in Huffington Post, an article I wrote about Robert Shapiro. He was very upset that I included a link to OJ in the article. And I thought it was so weird because I hadn't followed the story for a long time. And I just assumed that that's what he was most known for. And he was pissed that I included that, and I'm thinking to myself, well, but everybody knows it. You at OJ, I wasn't saying it was a good or a bad thing. Anyway.
That's how he got his fame.
Adams, you can go as long as you don't reference Beverly Hills.
Dr. Jordan, my experience, I went to the trial in Vegas. My girlfriend Jackie was the judge on that. Okay. And you're right, he had a charm about him. And then after he got out of jail, he would hang out, you know where the area I'm in. So there were certain restaurants you got, you excuse the term 86 because you can't say it anymore, but he got thrown out of a number of casinos just because he made people uncomfortable that he would come in, and then some restaurants. But he was like, hanging out, like chatting it up with everyone, very charming. You're absolutely right, even after all of this. But he was humbled quite a bit, that trial, for the theft. You know,
Well,
I mean,
he was
she
thrown
knew
out
he
of
was
Buffalo,
going
man.
out.
He was thrown out of the Anchor Bar at Buffalo and Duff's, where he wanted to go hang out where his jerseys were, and he was thrown out of Ilio DiPaolo's, where it was the big Buffalo Bills bar. So like he was immediately told at the door, just get the fuck out of here. And he had a couple guys.
So he's used to it, is what you're saying, Brad.
And he was told they didn't want him in there, and like Buffalo like stripped his name off of everything and just removed him completely. He's like he doesn't exist.
So Brad, to your point.
Hold on 1 second. Before the murder, I remember traveling to places like, I don't know, Cabo, the Caribbean. Like, people, if they had a picture with someone, it wasn't Michael Jordan. It was often O.J. Simpson. This was before the murder. I remember that. But what I wanted to also say, the one thing I remember about the trial, and quite frankly, it was kind of boring, although I do remember vividly being in the elevator with Jason Simpson, his oldest son, and Robert Shapiro. It wasn't like I wasn't walking with Robert. We happened to be there. I mean, I was much younger then. And when I did this thing for HuffPost, it was 20 years later. But what I wanted to say is that I was in the back. I remember I was in the, and maybe Abby, I'm curious her courtroom experience. When I was in the back, all I remember was that Denise, is it Denise? Who's the oldest Simpson?
That's Denise.
Daughter?
That's Denise.
Denise was right in front of me. And I can't really fault her because, I don't know, people are allowed to check. But she was like almost flirting.
She's a nice lady.
She seemed really sweet, but she is a nice lady. She was kind of flirting with this guy from like Entertainment Tonight or something. And I just remember it being weird because I'm like, if that was my family member, but I mean, the trial's a long thing. She's allowed to do whatever she wants. Maybe she wasn't. She was just being friendly. But that was what I remember most about the trial, not actually anything that was being said.
Well, so I just wanted to say this. Listen, Abby and Brad, I'm trolling when I say that the man is innocent. We know good and goddamn well that man killed that woman. Okay, so at the end of the day, what I'm looking at is the fake outrage. Okay, so the fake outrage that was extended towards O.J. Simpson is commonly misapplied towards a lot of men that end up in these situations. And when we look at the nuance between, domestic violence and, a lot of these circumstances, why isn't Hulu giving the same energy to Taylor Frankie Paul, right? So why is Taylor Frankie Paul getting to go on to The Bachelor and getting to ascend into a certain type of notoriety behind domestic violence when we have otherwise canceled the likes of, O.J. Simpson and Chris Brown?
Who's
why
Taylor
aren't women
Paul?
being given the? Oh, you didn't see the newest season of the.
You probably wouldn't understand.
You didn't see the newest season of The Bachelorette. The newest season of The Bachelorette.
Do I sound like a guy that would watch that? Like
No. But hold on. I'm bringing up mainly a pop culture point.
Well, and they canceled it too, right?
They canceled The Bachelorette because this woman was she was arrested and she was prosecuted for domestic violence. And one incident actually was leaked to TMZ where she was throwing chairs at her husband that actually hit a child. So it's crazy to me just how people want to have these bold opinions when it comes to the men, but then the women and their proclivities and their activities are completely ignored and not otherwise denounced. Like that is the fake outrage that pisses me off about this O.J. Simpson situation. And I personally feel like Chris Brown should be restored. Chris Brown should be restored.
I told you were trolling the whole time. I told you this. I was right. Just admit it. I knew you were trolling.
Beaver. I will give you that. Okay, but I'm asking.
So Nicole have culpability? Is that what you're trying to imply?
I'm not saying that Nicole has culpability. That's not what I'm saying.
She's definitely a victim of abuse.
What I'm saying is, I wish that people would treat this situation as importantly as they do, with Taylor Frankie Paul.
Get this guy.
So this became on the American crime stories. It became they were searching Ryan Murphy was, as they also did the Versace murders, and they looked for
I saw it.
big crime stories. And it's so funny because a lot of people, their reference to OJ is Cuba Gooding playing him, not the actual trial itself. But I wanted to, Beaver, I do remember me telling you about a movie I saw called The Perfect 10, about the 10 guys that won the Heisman and were in the Hall of Fame. And and OJ is one of the Perfect 10. And when they did
I guess they are trying to make a statement and show some form of being superior, spirituality, or here I am, I am doing what I can. So the praying is just absolutely annoying. There is a statement, actually, this is going back a little bit to talking about Turkey. Erdogan, the is it president or the
something prime Turkey?
Prime, yeah. He said, he says, you can find his wording. Actually, he says, we will ride the train of democracy to the heart of Europe.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm sure you've heard of that.
Ali, you're saying the quiet part out loud. The only thing I can say is that you must be a racist, because only a racist would point out the problems with Islam. Somehow. I don't know if that makes sense to people.
No, but well, it's stupid, because if anybody conflicting race with ideology, you must be absolutely just stupid. And so you see, in this, in this regard.
Our friend Sam does this pretty regularly, the guy from Iran. You probably know him.
Sam.
He makes this mistake pretty regularly. But, we have to give him some grace, because usually he's high on Mary Jane. So, always blame him for what he says. I'm going to say a quick good night, and I need to go to sleep because I have a big day tomorrow. And it's really nice to see you, Ali.
Yeah, good
night, and good luck with your presentation. Good luck.
Thank you, good night. Blessings on everybody. Mazel tov.
Peace be upon you. Blessings be upon you.
Yeah. So, Pro, I have come up with this phrase, and I think I have not heard it or seen it before, so I think I give myself a bit of credit. Often, when I am in discussions with the Muslims on the Clubhouse, you will find them to be finding the West and Western culture, way of life, that it's lost its moral compass, is depraved, the family life, it's non-existent, and the West has lost its way, in a sense. And so and they point out at the prostitution, the drugs, and other things.
I don't know how tremendously wrong they'd be.
Well, no, wait a minute. What this? Yeah, I mean, we can. Well, okay, that's fine. But the point is, and you do not hear a word of, how can I say, gratitude, appreciation, or understanding of what this country, America, affords. That's using principle, the guiding principle of the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and the rest of it, and on our culture. And so even the phrase that I can't call, the Islamophobic, so I have come up with a phrase, I call them Westophobic and Westophobia. And I think from my perspective, it makes perfect sense. I call them Westophobia, Westophobic. And it seems to me, particularly if you are a Muslim, and it could be from any place, coming to this country and the U.S., and the country accepts you in its bosom and provides you both ideological and monetary opportunities to make something out of yourself, and progress in life, and provide a situation these Muslims can actually get in the clubhouse and criticize anyone, in the government or the systems, and not to be, grateful to say something good at least. I mean, they think the Constitution ought to be replaced with Quran and the Bill of Rights with the Sharia laws and the rest of it. It's absolutely annoying. It's horribly bad. It makes me angry.
I gotta go to bed, but if you feel like keeping the room open, by all means. But if otherwise, I can shut it down.
Yeah, it's up to you.
Well, I have no skin in the game either way, so I don't care. I am always happy to shut it down.
Did Adam not sin? Did Adam sin? God, but Jesus does not have the potential. Okay, I'm asking.
Hello? Hello?
Adam did sin.
No, Adam did not sin. Adam did not sin.
The human that you're even like looking
It
at.
was Eve. Eve was the naughty girl.
Who is the perfect?
Adam left the garden because of Eve.
Unless you hold to in his son,
No.
you hold to nothing basically.
Adam was a good
Yes,
boy.
you have not completed the steps. You're not grounding yourself in anything.
Look.
In any infallible.
Look at the PTR.
Why are you bringing God in the paradigm of infallibility, sin? Because how you reduce God to all his how you reduce God to it?
As part of the human experience, Jesus could experience the temptation to sin, right?
But he did not.
But the underlying hypostasis of the divine nature prevented him from being able to sin. He would always choose to do the not sin option. Right.
It was impossible for Jesus to sin. Impossible.
I actually don't find this argument that convincing, Argus. Like the few times where in the Quran God corrects the prophet for not making a mistake but withholding
Yeah,
judgment.
then he's not a perfect human. What do you hold to then?
No, I'm saying that.
So something's wrong with the Quran then.
No, I'm saying that it doesn't. For me, it doesn't have to necessitate that this kind of like imperfection in scripture, like at all.
And you're not grounding anything, right? What are you grounding?
No. I still think that sufficient grounding can take place, and at the same time concede that the Prophet ﷺ was free from major sins and minor sins, but is still someone who was a relatable human being who hesitated out of his own humanity from implementing God's command and justice.
Then he's not perfect.
Two examples of that.
But you don't have you have no example of perfection in a machine is perfect when it acts and knows its
No, perfection.
Your machine, your vessel, your intermediary is not perfect. Why the hell should I follow your prophet?
Well, I'm not saying you have to. I'm just saying that,
Why should anyone when I can follow Jesus?
Well, because
he's perfect.
Because just like how you're claiming that, like, a human being that's prone to making errors and judgment shouldn't be followed. I'm saying that it's the very fact that he's a human being that's prone to making errors and judgment, and still, despite that, is struggling to achieve perfection that should be followed. It's the same.
You just collapsed your entire paradigm.
No. I mean, from your perspective.
When my intermediary cannot demonstrate the actualized potential within him, right? When I have a half-assed machine or a machine that kind of works to its fullest potential, what?
Your vibrator.
When I follow that, would that be my intermediary? When I have got it. Self, act as my intermediary in the form of what are you doing? You are downgraded to this model. Shame on downgrading God.
How dare you do this? Blasphemy! Blasphemer!
This downgrade God, the downgraded God. 2 minutes silence for Narcissus downgraded God.
I would just like to say, excuse me, Nizam, but you're dominating the stage. I just want to say that I was in another room and he was saying that the Muslims don't like Western values, like the courts and the marriages and everything. And all I got to say is, in my particular situation, I am okay with Sharia law for a little while, just to clear up the debts and to prevent the feminists from ruining everything, but just for a little bit to teach everybody a good lesson, and then we will be complete.
That's true. We do need to.
Why am I following a human that's not demonstrating perfection?
No, I mean, look, Nargis, based on your commitments, which, by the way, are not necessary. I understand why you critique.
For me, if this prophet, this intermediary, is not perfect, to hell with this intermediary.
So expecting godly perfection from human and expecting humanly sinful downgrading behavior from God. Subhanallah, this is the delusion they're selling you. This is a delusion you got sold on. 2 minutes silence for your poor judgment. 2 minutes silence for your poor judgment, Lord Marcus.
2 minutes of silence, please. Take the deepest breath of the day. Hold it for 10 seconds. Flex your Kegel muscle. Keep holding. Now let it go. Let it go. Go, 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 go.
You like differ philosophically, right? Because by virtue of the God being one and God being the ultimate, you could say, owner of perfection and the only owner of perfection, in my model, it is impossible for anything other than God to achieve.
Oh my God, you don't read enough books in your model. Put some books in your model and read some books, man. We had a room on Gnosticism earlier, Nizam. You should have been there.
Actualize. If I have not fully actualized it and become an insan al-kamil, then what is my purpose? To be half
I'm saying, look. Okay, it's a
if my
point.
prophet is showing, if this prophet or this guide or this intermediary is showing naqs, lack, right, in his actualization, he's nothing to me. He's a nobody. I might as well follow like you or Z or someone else.
No, but look, Nargis, by
or my other rock stars that I like, right?
I hope that you know that repeating the same point doesn't actually establish it any further, right? Like, your point is clear. Like, yeah, so
I'm reiterating so it's for emphasis, so that you realize how important it is
stronger, right?
It doesn't make it stronger, but you can refute it, right?
Yes. Right, I'm trying to, but like, okay, what I'm saying is that
versus insignificant.
You're conflating insanity travel with infallibility. I'm saying that someone can be insanity travel, and it's not that it's fallibility in the sense of like, okay, like if the prophet makes an error where it's an
Christ's
intentional
tradition
error.
collaborates with those who seek a deeper understanding of life's mysteries. Written by a man of profound devotion and erudition, it will provide every reader with firm guidance along the universal path to genuine wisdom and spiritual enlightenment. It's from the publishers. Hare Krishna. So, chapter 1, the original person. So, we just read the introduction. Welcome, Jen. So, we just read the introduction. This book has 26 chapters. Just going to go through one by one. Let's see how many. Oh, chapter 1 is just one page. All right. The original person. So first is the Sanskrit, then the translation and purport. Kunti Uvacha. Namaste Purusham Dvadyam Ishwaryam Rite Param Alaksham Sarvabhutanam Anate Bahir Avishtitam. Srimati Kunti said, O Krishna, I offer my obeisances unto you because you are the original personality and are unaffected by the qualities of the material world. You are existing both within and without everything, and yet you are invisible to all. The Srimad Bhagavatam 1.8.18. I'll read that one more time. Srimati Kunti said, O Krishna, I offer my obeisances unto you because you are the original personality and are unaffected by the qualities of the material world. You are existing both within and without everything, and you are invisible to all. Purport. Srimati Kunti Devi was quite aware that Krishna is the original personality of Godhead, although he was playing the part of her nephew. Such an enlightened lady could not commit a mistake of offering obeisances unto her nephew. Therefore, she addressed him as the original Purusha, beyond the material cosmos. Although all living entities are also transcendental, they are neither original nor infallible. The living entities are apt to fall down under the clutches of material nature, but the Lord is never like that. In the Vedas, therefore, he is described as the chief among all living entities. Then, again, he is addressed as Ishvara, or the controller. The living entities, or the demigods like Chandra and Surya, are also to some extent Ishvara, but none of them is the supreme Ishvara, or the ultimate controller. Krishna is the Parameshvara, or the super soul. He is both within and without. Although he was present before Srimati Kunti as her nephew, he was also within her and everyone else. In the Bhagavad Gita 15:15, the Lord says, I am situated in everyone's heart, and only due to me one remembers, forgets, and is cognizant, etc. Through all the Vedas, I am to be known, because I am the compiler of the Vedas, and I am the teacher of the Vedanta. Unquote. Queen Kunti affirms that the Lord, although both within and without all living beings, is still invisible. The Lord is, so to speak, a puzzle for the common man. Queen Kunti experienced personally that Lord Krishna was present before her, yet he entered within the womb of Uttara to save her embryo from the attack of Ashwatthama's Brahmastra. Kunti herself was puzzled about whether Sri Krishna is all-pervasive or localized. In fact, he is both, but he reserves the right of not being exposed to persons who are not record souls. This checking curtain is called the Maya energy of the Supreme Lord, and it controls the limited version of the rebellious soul. It is explained as follows. Okay, so that's chapter 1. Now we're going to chapter 2. So let's see how long it is before we continue. A couple pages, okay. Beyond the senses. First, the Sanskrit translation in purport. Maya Javanika Channam Ajnaduk Shajam Avyayam Nalakshaye Mudha Dashra Nato Natyadaroyata. Translation. Being beyond the range of limited sense perception, you are the eternally irreproachable factor covered by the curtain of diluting energy. You are invisible to the foolish observer, exactly as an actor dressed as a player is not recognized. I'll read that again. Being beyond the range of limited sense perception, you are the eternally irreproachable factor covered by the curtain of diluting energy. You are invisible to the foolish observer, exactly as an actor dressed as a player is not recognized. Srimad Bhagavatam 1:8-19 purport. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Shri Krishna affirms that less intelligent persons mistake him to be an ordinary man just like us, and thus they deride him. The same is confirmed herein by Queen Kunti. The less intelligent persons are those who rebel against the authority of the Lord. Such persons are known as asuras. The asuras cannot recognize the Lord's authority. When the Lord himself appears among us as Rama Narasimha Varaha, or in his original form as Krishna, he performs many wonderful acts which are humanly impossible, as we shall find in the 10th canto of this great literature. Lord Shri Krishna exhibited his humanly impossible activities even from the days of his lying on the lap of his mother. He killed the Putana witch, although she She smeared her breasts with poison just to kill the Lord. The Lord sucked her breast like a natural baby, and he sucked out her very life also. Similarly, he lifted the Govardhan hill, just like a boy picks up a frog's umbrella, and stood several days continuously just to give protection to the residents of Vrindavan. These are some of the superhuman activities of the Lord described in the authoritative Vedic literatures like the Puranas, Itihasas, histories, and Upanishads. He has delivered wonderful instructions in the shape of the Bhagavad Gita. He has shown marvelous capacities as a hero, as a householder, as a teacher, and as a renouncer. He is accepted as the Supreme Personality Godhead by such authoritative personalities as Vyasa, Devala, Ashita Narada, Madhava, Shankara, Ramanuja, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Jiva Goswami, Vishwanath Chakravarti, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, and other authorities of the line. He himself has declared as much in many places of the authentic literatures. And yet there is a class of men with demonic mentality who are always reluctant to accept the Lord as the supreme absolute truth. This is partially due to their pure fund of knowledge and partially due to their stubborn obstinacy, which results from various misdeeds in the past and present. Such persons could not recognize Lord Shri Krishna even when he was present before them. Another difficulty is that those who depend more on their imperfect senses cannot realize him as the Supreme Lord. Such persons are like the modern scientists. They want to know everything by their experimental knowledge. But it is not possible to know the Supreme Person by imperfect experimental knowledge. He is described herein as adokshaja, or beyond the range of experimental knowledge. All our senses are imperfect. We claim to observe everything and anything. But we must admit that we can observe things under certain material conditions only, which are also beyond our control. The Lord is beyond the observation of sense perception. Queen Kunti accepts this deficiency of the conditioned soul, especially of the woman class who are less intelligent. For the less intelligent, there must be such things as temples, mosques, or churches, so that they may begin to recognize the authority of the Lord and hear about him from authorities in such holy places. For the less intelligent, this beginning of spiritual life is essential, and only foolish men decry the establishment of such places of worship, which are required to raise the standard of spiritual attributes for the masses of people. For less intelligent persons, bowing down before the authority of the Lord, as generally done in temples, mosques, or churches, is as beneficial as it is for the advanced devotees to meditate upon him by active service. Hare Krishna. Anyone got any questions, well, that's chapter 2. Read chapter 3, which is a few pages, 5 pages, and we'll go from there. All right, chapter 3. Sanskrit is Tatha Paramahamsanam Muninam Amalat Manam Bhakti Yoga Vidhanartham Tatham Pashyama Hi Shriyaha. Translation. You yourself descend to propagate the transcendental science of devotional service unto the hearts of the advanced transcendentalists and mental speculators, who are purified by being able to discriminate between matter and spirit. How, then, can we women know you perfectly? Srimad Bhagavatam 1.8.20. Even the greatest philosophical speculators cannot have access to the region of the Lord. It is said in the Upanishads that the supreme truth, the absolute personality of Godhead, is beyond the range of the thinking power of the greatest philosopher. He is unknowable by great learning or by the greatest brain. He is knowable only by one who has his mercy. Others may go on thinking about him for years together, yet he is unknowable. This very fact is corroborated by the queen, who is playing the part of an innocent woman. Women in general are unable to speculate like philosophers, but they are blessed by the Lord because they believe at once in the superiority and almightiness of the Lord, and thus they offer obeisances without reservation. The Lord is so kind that he does not show special favor only to one who is a great philosopher. He knows the sincerity of purpose. For this reason only, women generally assemble in great number in any sort of religious function. In every country, in every sect of religion, it appears that the women are more interested than the men. This simplicity of acceptance of the Lord's authority is more effective than showy and insincere religious fervor. Kunti Devi prayed to the Lord very submissively, and this is a symptom of a Vaishnava. The Lord Krishna had come to Kunti Devi to offer respect to her by taking the dust of her feet. Because Krishna considered Kunti Devi his aunt, he used to touch her feet. But although Kunti Devi, a great devotee, was in such an exalted position, practically on the level of Yashodamai, Krishna's mother, she was so submissive that she prayed, quote, Krishna, you are meant to be understood by the Paramahamsas, the most advanced transcendentalists, but I am a woman, so how can I see you? Unquote. According to the Vedic system, there are 4 social divisions. Chaturvarnamayaschiram. The highest members of the social order are the Brahmanas, those who are intelligent. Then come the Kshatriyas, military men and administrators. The Vaishyas, farmers and businessmen. And finally, the Shudras, ordinary laborers. One's place in the system is determined by one's qualities and work, guna karma. The Bhagavad Gita mentions Striyo Vaishyas Tatha Sudra, and the Srimad Bhagavatam speaks of Striya Shudra Yuja Bandhunam. According to these references, women, Shudras and Dvijabandhus are considered to belong to the same category. The word Dvijabandhu refers to one who is born in an exalted Brahmana or Kshatriya family but who has no qualifications of his own. One's social standing, according to the Vedic system, is determined by one's qualifications. This is very practical. Suppose a man is born the son of a high court judge. This does not mean that he himself is also a high court judge.
Hello guys, I'm gonna show you.
Yeah.
And I'm going to show you something, guys. Look
Because
at this.
one happens to take birth in a
You see,
family,
they are drinking and
even
throwing.
if he has no
You can come all
qualifications
the way
and
here.
is rascal number 1,
You see, guys, here
he
they are
claims to be a
sleeping
Brahmana.
here and they are making like sexual.
And although
here, they
his
are bringing the
qualifications
woman
are
also
less than those of a Shudra,
at the night.
people
are
accept him
drinking.
as a Brahmana.
They are making PM.
This has caused the downfall of the
here.
Vedic civilization.
You see, guys.
The Brahmanas in India are sometimes very much
all of these
against my movement because I train and
smell
accept
nasty.
Brahmanas from
So
Europe
what
and
should we
America.
gonna do? I'm going to
But
lock
we
the
do
door.
not care about their arguments, nor will any
I'm
other
gonna lock the door. I'm
peaceful
gonna
man.
help my neighbors, okay?
Shri Chaitanya
This is none
Mahaprabhu
of
said,
my business, but this is my neighbors. I got the
Iti
key.
vite
I'm going to
achariyata
lock this door,
naga
okay?
radhi grama
I just spent it.
sarvatra prachara haive moranam.
I'm gonna show you guys.
In
Now
every
they
town,
cannot go inside. If they cut
city,
this,
and
they can
village
go
of
to
the
jail.
world,
I'm
the
gonna
Krishna
give you the key, my
consciousness
neighbor.
movement will be
I'm
preached.
trying to
Unquote.
help them.
How is it then that Europeans and Americans will not become Brahmanas? In fact,
I give you the key
one who
here,
comes to the Krishna
and
consciousness
whenever you
has
got
already
time, you can
surpassed
clean.
dominance,
Because smell nasty.
as stated
Thank
in
you so
Bhagavad
much.
Gita
Thank
14:26. Mam
Guys,
chayo
what do you think, guys?
ya
Please don't forget the
vicharena bhakti
comments, guys.
yogena
You see,
simvate sa
it's
gunam
good for my neighbor.
samati yaitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate.
Stargate wasn't just another
One
alien.
who
I was a
takes
congressman
super
for
yoga surpasses the modes of material
Representative
nature
Hagman
and comes to
endorsed
the
you
release
for
of the
governor?
transcendent platform.
That had to be huge.
From the Buddha, unquote. Not to speak of becoming a Brahmana, the person who fully engages in Bhakti Yoga attains the highest transcendental platform. The stereotyped, crippled idea that only a person born in a Brahmana family can become a Brahmana has killed Vedic civilization. But now, we are reviving the correct understanding that the attainment of perfection is meant for everyone. In Bhagavad Gita 9:32, Lord Krishna says, Mam hi partha vyapashrita yepishu papayo nayaha striyo vaishyas tatha sudras tepi yanti param gatim. O son of Partha, those who take shelter in me, though they be low-born, women, Vaishyas, or Shudras can approach the supreme destination, unquote. Thus, although women, Shudras, and Vaishyas are ordinarily considered to belong to a lower class, when one becomes a devotee, he or she goes beyond such designations. Women, Shudras, and Vaishyas are ordinarily regarded as less intelligent, but if one takes the Krishna consciousness, one is the most intelligent. As stated in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishna ye bhaje se padacha chatura. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, in Bengali, Pe rupe brahmanda pramite kona bhaga vanjiva. Guru Krishna prasade paya bhakti laj bija. Quote, among the living entities wandering through the universe, one who is very fortunate receives, by the mercy of the spiritual master and the mercy of Krishna, the seed of devotional service. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, 19:151. The Krishna consciousness movement does not consist of wretched, unfortunate men. No, it consists of the most fortunate. One who has taken to Krishna consciousness is to be considered the most fortunate because he has found the way to act so that his life will be perfect. One who is Krishna conscious and discharging his duties nicely is the most fortunate and most perfect. This is humbly stated here by Kunti Devi. Although Kunti had the body of a woman, she was a devotee. Therefore, she was not like an ordinary unintelligent woman. Rather, she was the most intelligent, for she recognized Krishna to be Supreme Godhead. Quote, he has come to me to offer me respect, materially appearing to be my nephew. But he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, in a previous verse, she said, Alaksham sarva bhutanam antar bahir avastitam. Quote, you are not seen by ordinary men, although you are everywhere, inside and outside, unquote. In another verse, also she said, Nalak shaye muda drisha. Fools and rascals cannot see you, unquote. This indicates that Kunti saw him. Unless she were able to see Krishna as he is, how could she say, Nalak shaye muda drisha? She also said, Prakrite param. You are transcendental to this material creation. Now, here also in this verse, Kunti continues to express herself with humility. This humility is very good in devotional service. Therefore, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu teaches us, one should be more tolerant than a tree and humbler than the grass to make progress in spiritual life, unquote. This is necessary because for one who is living in the material world, there will be so many disturbances, just as if one were traveling on the ocean. One cannot expect, we should always expect danger. One cannot expect a very